And welcome to another episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Thursday, March 19th, 2020. We are still in quarantine, coronavirus lockdown, and the lockdown turn-up movement is now for charity. That's right. We've located a charity for the lockdown turn-up lifestyle, and it's a very good one. I used to go out on runs to poor neighborhoods with these people all the time back in Austin. It's Meals on Wheels. And so now the money that you spend on that beautiful T-shirt that we just released will go directly to their COVID-19 response fund to help get safe, clean meals to the elderly during the coronavirus lockdown. It's an essential service to keep older Americans safe. So you're going to feel amazing.
And people with disabilities, correct? Not just the elderly.
That's right. Not just the elderly. Everybody, vulnerable citizens.
But definitely elderly with disabilities.
Well, they're absolutely, they're the first meal to
they're
go.
getting meals.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, guys, if you go on your Nextdoor app, some of you guys use that shit. It's the neighborhood app. I went through mine today. Number one thing is old people saying, hey, can someone go on a meal run for me? Can someone go to the grocery store for me? These are the people at risk.
So that's who you're paying. That's what you're paying for when you get the shirt. Plus, it looks awesome.
Meals on Wheels is an amazing charity. Like I was saying, I used to do Meals on Wheels runs, not during a lockdown. We used to just take pre-made meals to neighborhoods where people could use the food. And then in this case, they have people who are clean, safe, getting that food to vulnerable citizens who need it during the lockdown. So you're going to feel amazing turning up. You're going to look incredible in the shirt, and you're going to be saving lives buying that lockdown turn-up shirt. It's a win-win-win-win in a time of extreme loss. You just can't pass it up.
We don't make a single penny. Barstool doesn't make a single penny. It's all for charity. We do feel good about it though. So buy it, because if you buy a lot, we're gonna sleep real good.
Oh, that's right. And I need that help. I'm up till 7 every morning, stressed out.
It feels just as good as volunteering. I promise.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's way easier. You're getting a stimulus check coming to you. Don't worry about it. Just press, smash that buy
two
button.
checks. Will, if you let me get into it, 2 checks.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so let's get into the show today. We got 2 rounds of news for you. The order is going to be Mark, Wes, myself, and then Pat. So, Mark, get us going.
All right, so leading off, let's talk about U.S. economics and policy related to the coronavirus.
Oh, hell yeah.
But Mark, I don't want to learn today. Oh, boring. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Let's
gotta
learn.
get through it. It's got to get through it. All right, so look, it's not all bad. I mean, it's all bad, but it's not all bad. Let's get through the shitty stuff first, though. Some experts, including Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, is that how you pronounce his name?
I think so.
I think so. Mnuchin are predicting.
Did you
that
say
the US
Munchin?
No.
I said
Munchin.
I said Mnuchin.
Yeah, Mnuchin. I think
I was
Pat
hoping you said Munchin, like
No,
Pac-Man.
I said Munchin.
Pat had a hilarious fucking buffoonery of a word earlier, which we'll get to later. But Steve Mnuchin and some experts are predicting U.S. unemployment rate could peak as high as 20% this year. Whoa, because we were down to like 1%. So 20% this year, and certainly we'll get way into the double digits because of coronavirus. That sucks. The stock market has now seen all the gains we saw in Trump's first 3 years as president, which were a lot, be completely erased, and now and then some. Like the market's still tanking. It's like a bear market instead of a bull market. I think for the first time in 11 years. That happened a few days ago.
CNN was very happy to announce that.
Yeah, I mean, no one should be happy. No one should be happy. This isn't.
Were they really? Do you think that they're happy?
I think they were.
I don't like trying to politicize this pandemic. I like making fun of it. It's just stupid to politicize a global pandemic. It's really stupid.
And also like we were talking about with the mooch, hopefully this is more akin to a hurricane or some type of disaster like that.
Should bring you together.
Where everybody's going to sort of come together, bounce back pretty quick, hopefully.
Whereas the mooch says hurricane.
This is literally like an alien force hurricane. You should band together. If you watch Matthew McConaughey's thing, that's what he says. He's hoping that happens. It's not partisan, so don't make it partisan, guys. Starting next week, for the first time, the New York Stock Exchange floor is being closed temporarily. It's been closed before for 9/11, but the floor has never been closed while the markets have been open, and that's what's happening starting Monday for an undisclosed amount of time, and that's because people on the floor are getting coronavirus that work on the stock exchange.
That makes sense. When I see a picture of the New York Stock Exchange, it's nothing but dirty hands touching each other and then people screaming in each other's mouths.
That's it. That's it. Well, I have
floors are so dirty. What do you expect? You're hanging out on the floor. You're gonna get the virus.
Yeah. It's all those and more guys. Like they're sweating and they're spitting. So you guys are right. That's why the multiple people have already gotten positive. I'm sure there's more. So they're shutting the floor down. The markets are open online, and there shouldn't be much of an impact for day traders that do the trading online anyways. It's just like the ceremonious things like the opening bell, closing bell, and all that shit is going away for a little while.
El Prez, Davey day trader now. So
that's right. He's going to be fine. Davey day trader's going to be fine.
Okay,
but let's move on to some good stuff, okay? On Wednesday, the Senate passed a House-approved coronavirus relief package, and later on Wednesday night, Trump stamped it. He signed that bad boy into law, moving fast, their government. Good job there. It mainly offers multiple weeks of PTO for people that have been diagnosed with corona, are in the process of being diagnosed with the coronavirus, or can't go to work because they've been advised by doctors or government officials that they've been exposed to too much coronavirus and shouldn't go to work. So for those people, they get paid for at least a couple weeks. It also helps out parents with the children, like who's with all the school closings. So they get like 2/3 of their pay or something related to that. So you might want to check into that, Wes. I think this is for paycheck workers, not small business owners like yourself, but who knows? It's worth a shot. But yeah, so that's for stuff like that.
Yeah, that's good because, one of the things that I've been reading, a lot of these kids that are out of school just rely on school for all their meals. So this is very important.
Yeah, it is, and I saw some schools were still giving out food if you just showed up to a safe place. But yes,
that's good.
So that's a good relief package. And next up, let's talk about evictions and foreclosures on homes have been suspended for the next 2 months.
Nice.
So it covers single-family mortgages backed by state-sponsored U.S. mortgage giants like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So probably not rentals. But I doubt anyone's getting kicked out of their house if they can prove that they can't afford to pay. So drink up, guys, and don't pay your rent. That's a huge lockdown and turn up win. That is that's a number one lockdown and turn up.
Could you imagine though, the bank showing up to your house and kicking you out in the middle of the coronavirus? That would be surreal. They're putting kids on the street because they're bored.
Sorry,
challenging
or
your landlord to try and boot you is very turning up during this lockdown.
Yeah, well, you
try and get me out of here.
I would advise pretty threatening. Yeah, you could say you have corona, and the landlord's not going to come within 20 feet of your property. So I don't know.
That's a good point.
I mean, pay your rent if you can. But
also, I just thought about this. Great way to end a relationship you don't want to be in, too, Mark. On that note.
Yeah, you're right. It's I said it's like when the locust route. You can use every excuse. Corona. I'm late because of corona. I got to break up with you because of corona. I can't raise that child.
Take a cue from Hunter Biden. But a chin.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what he did.
This corona thing is giving everyone a taste of what it's like to have a child. It's the best excuse in the world. My kid's sick. I got to take my kid to this, to that. It's exactly like the corona thing.
It really,
you were full of shit, Wes.
It kind of teaches you how big a piece of shit you are, really. Trump also invoked a Korean War era Defense Act, like the Act of 1950, where the government can enforce ramping up production of medical supplies, in this case, like gloves and masks. He's also sending 2 U.S. Navy ships to the coasts to act as floating hospitals, which is pretty cool, for when the non-floating hospitals or hospitals run out of sick beds. So the U.S.
is pretty cool.
That is good, man. So the USNS Comfort's expected to be sent to New York Harbor soon. They're doing some maintenance in Virginia right now. And then the USNS Mercy is going to a TBD location on the West Coast. I'm assuming California or Washington. Smashed.
Exactly. Yeah. Outside of San Francisco,
Right.
How terrible would it be if you had to be hospitalized because of motion sickness and then you ended up on one of these ships? That'd be bad.
Yeah, but I mean...
Yeah, it's true. But they're so big, maybe it's like a cruise ship where it's like you can't even tell.
Yeah, they're docked, Pat, and it's a good weird thought you just had, but I think it's all good. I think it's good. Finally, the best for last. It looks like U.S. tax-paying citizens are getting up to 2 rounds of stimulus checks, as I hinted at earlier, from the government. Take that, libertarians, and Rand Paul, the only guy who's been voting no on these fucking relief packages like a moron. No wonder why that guy's neighbor beat the shit out of him. He's such a dweeb. Send me those greenbacks, baby, so I can buy some more green for my front. And I'm talking about my mouth and putting marijuana in it. And I'm reading that Trump administration is now working on a $1 trillion economic relief package that is basically designed to bail out the airline companies, which we all knew was going to happen. And then a half of that trillion is for like U.S. citizens. And they're doing like $250 billion check distributions in early April, around April 8th, they're hoping for. And then again, 5 weeks later, around May 18th for a second check.
Nice.
We don't know the exact sizes yet. It's like based on some factors like how many kids do you have, what was your salary, stuff like that. But assuming it's around $1,000 per person, probably over 500 once in April, once in May. So that's pretty cool.
Two things. First of all, Bernie Sanders, his head is exploding right now. Second, is it tough to cash?
No, Pat. So was more than Bernie Sanders was Yang's. Yang was like, "What the fuck? This was my idea."
It was his idea.
Are you allowed to cash this check if you've weaponized the words socialism? Like, are you, or is it, or can you just cash it with like free?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is a FEMA check essentially.
Absolutely free.
Little ironic.
Absolutely free of guilt, Pat. I don't think.
Pat, give me yours if you feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
I haven't weaponized the word socialism.
Pat, let's go up to some people's faces that have weaponized it and ask for their checks. Good idea.
Yeah, they're the type that'll hand it over really.
Let's go to their
I
property.
would love
Let's
to
go
meet
right
a
up to their
principal-
property. March
a
up to their
principled
property.
man who
knock on
like
their door.
wouldn't cash it. Like I ain't.
The counter argument there is this is capitalism because they're giving you money to fuel the economy. It's not socialism. It's capitalism.
Look, it's good is what it is. Also,
it's
don't
good.
at me people that hate unemployment programs. Again, libertarians, I'm really taking some shots at you guys today. A global pandemic is not the time right now to be dying on your incorrect economic stance hills, so just keep it to yourself. But if you did lose your job because of coronavirus or are about to, like waiters, bartenders, industry workers, and any other people, and you weren't fired for negligence, go online and check out your state unemployment programs because you are definitely eligible.
Yeah. Definitely learn what benefits you have to you in general. You got time on your hands. You're at home. Hopefully, you have the internet still. Look,
if you're not making any money and it's because of this virus, take advantage of the things that are out there for you.
And we are feeling for you guys. We know this sucks. Like we're very lucky to have our jobs through this period of time. But the contract workers,
right,
the restaurant workers, the film industry, like anyone who works job to job is in big trouble.
Hey, but we're going to be helping them out. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. We're going to be doing our part.
We're going to continue to
lock down.
We'll give you advice and we'll help with charity stuff.
Well, not only that, we're being proactive. We'll get into it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys, this should come as no surprise, but our borders are closing the fuck down on both ends to prevent the spread of the disease, which I think is a fantastic idea right now. So first, the Canadian border will be closed down to all non-essential travel, a ban that both President Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau agreed upon after, Trudeau kind of put up a little bitch fest about this originally, but he eventually caved. This ban will not affect the trade and movement of goods, which is great news for Canada, who relies on the U.S. for 75% of its exports. Speaking at a press conference, Trudeau said, quote, "No matter who you are or what you do, this is a time you should be focused on your health and that of your neighbors, not are you going to lose your job, are you going to run out of money or food or medications." Which is easy for a prime minister.
Yeah, those are really huge concerns.
Why do you have to do one or the other?
Right. Yeah. Easy
I think
for
he was trying to be inspiring, right?
That's very uninspiring. Basically telling you you're an asshole for having normal thoughts.
I agree.
That pisses me off, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so a good thought, I guess, but easy for a fucking prime minister to say. At the time of this recording, Canada has over 700 cases with just 9 deaths. The U.S. is closing in on 10,000 cases with over 150 deaths. So good idea, Canada, even though, like I said, they were resistant at first. To the south, President Trump announced that concerning the Mexico border, quote, "We're not going to close it, but we are invoking a certain provision that will allow us great latitude as to what to do," which means nobody is getting in if you are from another country, including migrants and those seeking asylum. He asked the Surgeon General to enact U.S. Code number 265, which is the suspension of entries and imports from designated places to prevent spread of communicable diseases. So if you are caught, it's just
his favorite thing to do is lock down the border. So
right,
yeah.
He's been doing this for a while, so this is like just a bonus. So if you are caught crossing the border illegally, you will be immediately returned as if you're some ticking time bomb. No due process, whatever that was before. Mexico currently does not even have 100 cases, and their biggest concern down there is probably still the cartels. This administration
Mexico doesn't even have 100 cases.
No, not according to.
It might be the weather, maybe because if it follows. Yeah,
or
maybe
the
so.
Yeah, or the lack of them just reporting it or knowing.
Lack of testing,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah.
To your
Why,
point, Will,
why are you going to shut down Canada? You think that's just specifically so they can have like a better sense of control over it because it's intergovernmental?
Yeah, you don't want people crossing borders in general. I think in Europe they're doing a lot of the same things to try to contain the spread. Just in general,
Yeah,
they
it's
want to
just
lock down
movement.
travel and shit. Yeah,
yeah,
it's just
tabs on it.
You just got to keep the movement down. So,
But to Will's point, To Will's point, I think that the last thing to get back to normal is going to be the borders. He's going to like
Yeah.
the
we gotta
paperwork's
keep that
gonna,
shut.
Yeah, he's gonna wait a few months to make sure it's completely gone.
We're not
before the
sure
borders
yet.
get.
yeah. So, he said that the Trump administration is worried that if cases get bad in the South, if they increase a lot, that more people will rush here to seek the benefits of our health system. And frankly, if I were them, I'd do the fucking same. But hey, if all this border closing has you worried about the supply chain of what seems to be the most hoarded item, just take a look behind Hard Factor Mark over there. Toilet paper, don't worry. So, according to one study, the average person uses around a half roll to just over a roll of TP a week. And luckily,
Not me.
not me either. Not me either.
You guys are on the plus side or the minus side of that?
What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think, Pat?
I think I got an idea.
Yeah. But luckily for us, most of the toilet paper manufactured, which is made of tree pulp, is made right here in the good old USA. Unless your favorite toilet paper is made in China, you really don't have anything to worry about. In fact, all this hoarding is really doing is setting up a toilet paper companies for a big lull in a few months while people catch up to all the extra toilet paper they are buying now.
Well, look,
Yeah,
like I explained a while ago. I've been ordering my toilet paper online for like a year from Amazon. Just get that shit online. You don't even have to go to the grocery store.
Right. Yeah. You don't need to hoard it. If you order it online, it will come to you. No
right.
problem.
And
In
for all the
fucking
people who,
spades.
yeah, and for all the people who have been hoarding it, haven't you noticed that it gets restocked the next day?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I read something funny about the toilet paper, which I don't know if it's true or not. But obviously, toilet paper has nothing to do with medical or preventive stuff for the coronavirus. But I read that the fad started because in China they were making masks out of it because it's like similar materials. So like the smart people were just like buying a bunch of toilet paper, then making masks and distributing them. But people didn't put that in their brains. They're like, oh, we're going to be shitting our brains out. We have to get toilet paper. And it was really it started in China because they were trying to make masks.
That makes sense.
I love, Mark, that you're buying it online. I didn't even think about that because every time I go to the grocery store, I'm just super embarrassed to buy toilet paper because
For sure.
Then they
Why
know.
do you think I
like
started doing it, Pat?
buying a plunger. That's
Yeah,
they
it's
know that I shit.
so bad.
Yeah,
I don't
nobody.
want that.
You disgusting poopers. Also, if you are still worried, just forgo the toilet paper altogether, like apparently a ton of people are doing by going to cheap bidets or bidets, as Pat calls them.
There it is. Pat goes, hey guys, did you read that there's a big shortage of bidets? I was like, what the fuck is they're trying to sell cheap bidets online? I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah.
It's a bidet, Pat.
Yeah, so
Fuck you guys. A bidet or a bidet is defined as a bowl or receptacle designed to be sat on for the purpose of washing the human genitalia. So
Yeah.
I want to point out that what I was talking
or
about.
anus, I think too.
Yeah, also with the perineum or the anus. But what I'm talking about is these fucking bidets or bidets,
Bidet.
wherever you're from.
It's a
I don't
French
know.
word.
We're talking about the additions to your
Right.
toilet, not a full bowl. Like I've traveled Europe with some of you guys. You guys know I'm fucking cultured. We're not talking about a fucking full bowl. We're talking about just a little adapter that goes on your toilet
Yeah,
to
an
wash your butt.
attachment.
It should be a different thing.
Yeah, pulls from
Oh,
your.
so we should same spelling but called
Yeah,
those
well,
bidets.
Pat, I have a story about Pat
How many times have you
traveling
written out the
traveling
word
to Europe.
bidet?
Pat, you are cultured. Remember when we went to Italy and you spent a whole night just like moaning that there was no 7-Elevens?
Yeah, because I was 16 and I wanted to buy a pack of smokes because I'm in Italy and I want to be
Yeah,
smoking cigs out in public.
Yeah. Well, hey, anyway, you can get your bidets on Amazon. They'll pull right from your toilet tank water and shoot them right up your assholes. But hey, here's a tip: if you're really out of toilet paper, and I do this often when I have to poop on the road, you get your phone out, you pretend like you're on a phone call, then you wander in a hotel. They have nice bathrooms. You take a poop, and then you borrow a few plies.
Yeah,
Right. Pro tip.
hotels. I was just in a hotel. They had a lot of toilet paper.
Yeah.
And here's a pro tip: if South by Southwest happens next year and you're in Austin, Texas, and you want to do what Wes is talking about, the Driscoll downtown, unrivaled privacy, unrivaled cleanliness,
Oh, those are nice
unrivaled
stalls.
service.
Yep,
Nice
you can-
stalls at the Driscoll.
Unlimited supply. So
It's like a
that's
private
it.
office.
You're not
Yeah.
going to want to get up. Your legs are going to go numb.
Could hold meetings in there.
Yeah.
Well, that's incredible stuff, Wes, about the TP supply chain.
Thank you.
Another wild development in the U.S. was that the Baltimore mayor asked people to stop shooting each other, please, to keep hospital beds free for the coronavirus people who need them. He did this while declaring a state of emergency in the city on Wednesday. So take this shit seriously, folks. Social distance, wash your hands, lock down, and turn up. And now let's take it over to a country that Mark and I both love that should teach us a little bit about why we need to take this coronavirus seriously, and that is Italy.
Oh, and I
Italy.
don't love it, Will. I don't love it because I don't have 7-Elevens.
We have a
No,
lot
no,
of
no. Pat, I'm not
Italian in
saying-
our bloodstream.
Well, right. You did belittle it because of its non-Americanness and its lack of 24/7.
Wasn't very convenient. I'll be honest with you. The country wasn't very convenient.
Yeah, I mean, they close. They don't have, like, small
They
towns don't have,
close
like,
early.
24
They do close early,
24/7.
but they sold liquor to us when we were 18.
That's true.
So-
You can buy liquor at any age.
That eased the pain, Mark, but it didn't fix the problem.
Right. You couldn't buy it at midnight, which was the issue. Yes. So Italy, though, they are a good example of why we need to take it seriously. They had their worst day so far on Tuesday, recording over 500 deaths in a single day, bringing the death toll in Italy to nearly 3,000 out of their 35,713 confirmed cases as of the time of this taping. And you may think, whoa, that's high. I thought it was like a 1% mortality rate, not 10%. And you're right. Italy, like the U.S., is only testing those with symptoms, people who may need treatment, not everybody like other places like South Korea did. So the number of confirmed cases is far less than the actual number of infected people in the country. You combine that with the fact that Italy has 1 billion people over 70 living there.
Oh, yeah.
And
You
that's
don't die.
why.
This is the
Yeah.
first time an old person's ever died in Italy. There's 200-year-olds dying from this global pandemic.
Tons of centurions getting.
There was a
getting this.
200-year-old in Italy. That should be
At
bigger
least.
news.
Almost. And so that's why everybody in Italy is now staying home. And the good news for the USA is that we started staying home in the U.S., many of us, proportionally about 10 days earlier than the Italians. So we're hoping that curbs the spread, unless the spring breakers doom us all. Those I don't know if you guys have seen more spring breaker videos. Just absolute insanity.
I've been trying to be calm, like since I got back home, I was going through some shit and stuff. So I've been trying to like get this new calming attitude. I can't watch anymore. I can't watch any more of those spring break videos because it makes my blood boil.
Well,
it's bad.
I gotta stop.
Mark, that one you tweeted was my favorite because it was a guy justifying, like a 19-year-old shithead justifying why he continued with his spring break. And he's like, look, man, we've been planning this thing for like a couple months.
At least a couple.
He goes,
The
we've been planning
economy
it forever for 2
is decimated,
months.
you dickhead. 2 months. I know it's a long time.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of Florida.
Long time to try to fuck that girl that you're probably not going to get to have sex with anyways. Okay, more good news for Italy is that if you look at the other countries, or for us in the U.S., not Italy, sorry. If you look at the other countries in Europe where the spread is not as hot as Italy, they're also able to keep their death tolls relatively low so far. So hopefully that continues. People who are doing a little bit more distancing than the Italians did before they realized they had such a big problem. Hopefully that works out for the U.S. and the other spots in Europe that are not as hot. And also, more good news. This time it is for the Italians. Venice, Italy, one of my favorite cities in the world, is finally getting some good press for once. It's a city that's built entirely on top of water, and it's known for smelling horrible and having dirty, disgusting water and
Not
being
anymore.
inundated with aggressive pigeons and cig smokers. And that is until the coronavirus lockdown came. And now the canals of Venice are crystal clear. No human activity, fish swimming everywhere, dolphins in there, birds. It's beautiful. It's like what you would imagine Venice to be when you think about it in the best possible terms. It's awesome.
This virus is so good for wildlife. My sister and brother-in-law sent a video of 3 raccoons just having a time in the backyard. There's no humans out. Like there were I heard like water buffalo where there's like roaming around. Like this is the best possible virus for anything but humans. Like loves
It's like their
this fucking
parents
virus.
are out of town, but their
Exactly.
parents also continually destroy their environment. So it's
Could you imagine
Yeah.
the only there's some downside to this too because the animals are getting further and they're getting more curious, they're getting closer and closer, to humans in situations they wouldn't in Russia with the polar bears, they're gonna have a problem again because You know what I
They're
mean?
not gonna. Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Oh, why are you back out of your house? You're
Yeah.
dead."
Yeah, they
Dead.
also don't have any Russians to eat. I mean, that like makes up, I think, 12 or 15% of the polar bear's diet. is
Probably.
human Russians.
Yeah, it's got to be a significant percentage. And so obviously, though, these waters in Venice, they're not less polluted after just 1 week of a break from humans. But it is cool to see how fast the color clears up when we're not fucking with it. And the Venetians are also saying that the air is clearing up and smelling better since the lockdown began. Which, I mean, that's
The
Venetian
world's
saying.
doing much better. We're not, but the world's doing great.
And finally, more good news for Italians. U2's Bono, the lead singer, inspired by videos of Italians making music together from their balconies in Italian cities that have been coming out over the last couple weeks. He wrote a song from his home in Dublin, and he performed it on St. Patrick's Day. The song is called Let Your Love Be Known. He released it directly to social media, and it is okay, but it's an incredibly nice
good
gesture.
News, Will.
Yeah.
Well, right. Yeah, it's not the greatest. I mean, his voice cracks a
Is
lot.
this going to be auto playing on my iPhone every time I turn on my car for the next 12 years?
No,
like the last
no,
CD he
it
did?
wasn't an official release, thankfully.
I thought I was going to get to escape Bono during all this, but I was wrong.
No, it's a disaster.
No, he headline grabbed the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And Bono, hopefully his rich ass goes on a couple Italian vacations, spends a lot of cash when this all blows over, because that's how you can really help out. Thank you, Bono.
Yeah, why don't you put your money where your mouth is, Bono? In this segment, guys, we're going to be exploring a very important question, and that is referring to coronavirus by its nationality racist? Yeah, who knows? So on Monday morning, guys, Trump stated, he started referring to COVID-19 as the China or Chinese virus and has quadrupled down with subsequent tweets and press conferences, including his tweet on Wednesday morning where he said, quote, "I always treated the Chinese virus very seriously and have done a very good job from the beginning, including my very early decision to close the borders from China against the wishes of almost all. Many lives were saved. The fake news, new narrative is disgraceful and false." Okay, so let's address a couple things. Why is he going out of his way to call the virus Chinese? Well,
Because its original point of origin is China.
Yeah.
maybe. I think there's might be a little bit deeper here, Will. And I do want to point out that I was always taught not to do that. For example, if you have a friend named Brian who also happens to be Asian, as tempting as it is, you should refrain from referring to him as Asian Brian, and instead you should just call him Brian. And the only exemption to this rule is if you have two Brians in your friend group and both Brians end up on the same lane at a bowling alley. Otherwise, you should really not call anyone by their nationality.
Interesting.
Except for the bowling scenario where it could get confusing.
What if, like, all of your fathers had always said Asian Brian, all of them before you, because, like, the Spanish flu precedent here?
Wait, you're saying that they also had Asian
Well-
friends named Brian?
I'm saying, like, the fact that all previous pandemics
back in
were
the
named
day,
after areas.
I think that the forefathers said a few things they might not have been saying should be
So
saying
this
about
is
race.
this is akin to slavery, then.
You can no. This is akin to like telling
what?
racist jokes, not slavery. Just like a lot of people were saying shit they shouldn't have been saying in the past. I don't know. I know China virus is absolutely incorrect because it was never the Chinese virus. That's just mean and just trying to incite people. It was the Wuhan virus. So Wuhan coronavirus is the only thing that I could see even close to being acceptable. But because so many people have brought up the issue and because so many Asian people have been offended by it, maybe just don't call it either Wuhan or Chinese, and doesn't fucking matter what we used to call other viruses. It doesn't fucking
right.
matter.
I think you're onto something with the "it doesn't matter" there, and so people are just going to call it whatever they want to piss people off.
Right.
Right.
That's
It's
all.
like
That's saying Chinese virus is absolutely saying it to piss people off. Saying Wuhan virus, you might have just been reading that the past couple months and not. You shouldn't get fucking attacked by the blue check marks for saying that. But Chinese virus, no. You shouldn't say Chinese virus. No.
Yeah,
Right.
because it
No,
makes
absolutely.
you think that it's like, only Chinese people have it,
Right.
basically.
It was never called the
that's
Chinese
not
virus
good.
until people over here started calling it that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the good way to think about it is if you would a sixth grader use it as an insult, right? So it's like if you assign a modifier to the virus, like the Mark coronavirus, then
Right.
people named Mark in the sixth grade are going to have a hard time Same thing with Chinese people.
Let me
and
be
being
clear. Let me be clear. It came from China, and the Chinese government is fucking dickheads.
Right.
Yeah, they're
We're gonna
trying.
get into
I mean,
that.
I'm pretty sure that's
suck,
why
but-
he's saying it is because they're trying to claim it's from
but
America.
That's not fair
Right.
to the Chinese citizens that didn't do anything wrong and are getting, the brunt of it. So
Yeah,
Right.
It's
So
a good thing
anyway,
my
we
kid's out of
just- we
school. Jesus.
yeah,
We just got the one virus, so maybe just call it the virus. You don't need to
COVID-19
distinguish
or
it.
coronavirus is acceptable.
Right. So when asked by reporters at Wednesday's press conference what Trump thinks about people who are saying that his characterization of the virus is racist, Trump responded by saying, quote, "It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China. I want to be accurate." Trump dodged a later question about his thoughts on a report that an unnamed White House aide had been referring to COVID-19 as the Kung flu. He just let
Which
that.
is funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
funny,
Funny.
but
it is.
Or the
funny.
Wu
Racist.
Wu Clan virus, like Wu-Tang Clan.
yeah,
report.
it's barroom
funny.
talk, not White
Right.
House aide talk. He
yeah,
then
but
went
I
on to
mean,
say-
that you can use the Wu-Tang Clan for the wash your hands stuff, but you can't use Kung Flu for a name of the virus.
Well, this is why we're having this discussion, Will, because
Okay.
it's an
It
evolving
seems
discussion.
wildly sensitive to me.
People are
Right.
too sensitive in
Wildly
general.
sensitive.
Well, people are too-
insanely
yeah.
sensitive.
People are very sensitive these days. The past
If you're-
15 years.
If you're in a position of in the government, you should not be referring to it as the Kung flu. But
Hey, just put it in your back pocket for if a Chinese guy
later.
pisses you off.
yeah. Anyway, guys, Trump dodged that question, and then he went on to say, quote, "China was putting out information, which was false, that our military gave this to them. That was false." And more on that in just a second. You guys may remember back in January when Trump praised China and President Xi for his and their excellent work in containing the virus. Remember that? He also did it on February 7th when he tweeted, quote, "Great discipline is taking place in China as President Xi strongly leads what will be a very successful operation." So early days of the virus, before this new war between them kind of broke out, he was
you have two things going on. He's fighting against the people who are trying to claim that it's an American virus of origin. There are Chinese diplomats that are trying to do that, and then also trying to keep good relations with Xi because they are containing the virus. So it's like it's two sides. And it's
Right.
not. It's
also,
not the same.
also with that, the information comes so fast that, like, at the time he might have thought he was doing a good job, and then new information comes out that Xi wasn't doing a good job.
Well, I think
Same-
inarguably they were. I mean, the CDC has praised them. Anyway, but Trump came out yesterday as well and said, "This is hilarious," that China could have given us a lot earlier notice. Like, come on, China.
Well, they did.
Why didn't you give us a heads up?
They did. The first case was November 17th, and it wasn't reported until late December to the rest of the
Right.
world.
But yeah,
So they
Yeah, and they
did.
also-
they did.
they
They
also,
did not report it.
they
Well, they
also
only
knew-
knew December 8th. There was 20 days where they held the information from.
They
the rest of
also
the world.
knew that it could be passed human to human, and held on to that information for about 20 to 25 days.
Yeah, December 8th to December 31st, because they announced it on December 31st, and they actually knew about it on December 8th after the
Right.
data exchange started happening.
so whether or not they could have let us know earlier, probably it's just hilarious that the
No,
flip flopping
definitely.
of praise and then
Not probably, definitely.
Definitely.
He
for
also
sure.
made some mistakes too, like saying it's not a big deal. We only have 15 cases and they're all going down.
Everybody made mistakes. It's
Yes,
a
but
pandemic.
you got to move forward. Yeah, everyone made mistakes.
Yeah,
We
but
are where we're at.
was his mistakes more just verbally, or like he didn't like not do anything about it? He may have said some mistakes,
No.
but
Right,
was
shutting
it-
down shutting down the China travel was smart.
Yeah.
Yes, that was really smart. But one thing that he took a gamble on, and you can't predict that there's going to be a global pandemic in the future, but he shut down the global pandemic unit when he first got in office and defunded 80% of the units that would be taking care of this outside of the CDC, which again, like, you have to apportion your money. He wanted to put more money into things like defense, which is great because we could get in a war. He gambled wrong. Now, that's not here nor there. He's been acting as well as he could, but he did defund 80% of the fucking global pandemic people. That's a fact. So he was wrong when he did that. he didn't know there was going to be a global pandemic.
Trying to fix it now with the emergency declaration and all of this emergency legislation.
He's doing well with what we have now. Yes,
the point is, it doesn't information will come out about who may have fucked up or what could have been done differently down the line. But right now, everyone needs to be focused on how do we fight this thing?
Fixing it. You can write a book about it later. Yeah.
Yeah. Back to your point, Will, earlier, which is really interesting, and back to Trump saying that China claimed the virus came from U.S. military. Here's where the basis of that came from and where I think Trump's starting to call it the Chinese virus came from. So on March 12th, Lijian Xiao, I'm sure I butchered that, who's a spokesperson.
No, that was beautifully
Thank
said.
you, brother.
Yeah.
He's a spokesperson and deputy director general for China's foreign ministry. He tweeted, and he said, quote, "When did patient zero begin in the U.S.? How many people are infected? What are the names of the hospitals? It might be U.S. Army who brought the epidemic to Wuhan. Be transparent. Make public your data."
Patient zero in the U.S. was a Chinese man who had come home to Washington from visiting his family in China, in Wuhan.
Right. He then went on to follow up his tweet with an article from a conspiracy theory website called globalresearch.ca, which, honestly, strong name. You want to trust them, but don't. And this article suggested that the virus did, in fact, come from the U.S. So they started with that shit. I think that's what ignited Trump. That seems to be the proverbial Fort Sumter shell between U.S. and China was that tweet. And the whole thing's just getting fucking confusing and dumb. It's like a swinger club sitting around arguing about who brought herpes into the group. Like, arguing isn't going to give you less herpes. The only thing that can do that is Valtrex.
Yeah, well, my conspiracy theory buddy, who I pass articles to you guys quite frequently, sent me an article that apparently like the military games were in Wuhan in November.
There's a cat's asshole. Hang on.
Yeah, nice. Cool. So that's
follow us on YouTube if you want to see our stream.
That's big on conspiracy theories sites. Is that the military games were held in Wuhan right before this whole thing broke out.
Yeah, and then we released a virus there that we don't have the vaccine for yet. That makes a whole bunch of sense.
Yep. It's bullshit. Also, guys, yesterday China revoked press credentials for American reporters in China from the New York Times, Washington Post, and the Wall Street Journal in response to U.S. press restrictions on Chinese media, and also partly because of this battle between Trump and the Chinese government. And that must be weird for Trump because it means that he and China agree on at least one thing, and that is their opinion that those publications are fake news. Get them out of China. They're sent. That's the haps for right now.
Man, that was some heavy stuff, Pat. I wish you didn't do that topic.
I wish the Chinese didn't give us this virus.
What? Sorry. It was interesting. I thought, come on.
Let's do
it's hot. It's hot in the streets. Everybody's talking about this, about the sensitivity of
it doesn't fucking matter. Let's fix the virus. Like, really, like, it doesn't fucking matter. Try to be nice to people. Don't incite, whatever. Anyways, as most of us have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy and getting out is hard, especially if your credit score isn't great. Am I right, Pat?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Am I right? Thankfully, now there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows you're more than just your credit score and offers smarter interest rates to help you pay off your high-interest credit card debt, which is awesome. I wish all of us at Hard Factor, except for Will, who is responsible, knew about Upstart 10 to 15 years ago. Upstart goes beyond the traditional credit score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter rate. Upstart believes you're more than just your credit score, which is, that's nice. Hang on. The cat's messing with me.
and while the cat's messing with you, let me clarify. There's times in my life where I definitely could have used Upstart, and I should have, and I would have been out of my financial hole quicker had I used Upstart and not relied on my own, foolish mind.
Yes,
Mark,
you could have used it too.
You promised, Mark, you promised the cats wouldn't be a distraction or an interference with the show.
Well, I mean,
he has 5 cats walking on his laptop.
I think they're adding to the show, to be honest. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate. Since it's just a soft pull, it won't affect your credit score. You don't want those hard pulls, and they won't give you a hard pull unless you accept their rate, which is good. The best part, once the loan is approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day. The next day, that's fast. See why Upstart is top ranked in their category with a 4.9 out of 5 star rating. That's huge on Trustpilot, and hurry to upstart.com/hard to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes. That's upstart.com/hard.
Nice. All right. I like a hard pull every now and again.
You're going to want to see these cats in the videos, guys. I'm telling you.
Oh, the tails are hilarious. They're just wafting in your face.
If you want to see 5 domestic cats around a hairy man, make sure to watch this on YouTube.
Yeah. All right, guys. Of course, the coronavirus is the biggest news since 9/11. It's taken over every news outlet, but that doesn't mean that the world stops and other fucked up shit doesn't keep happening. So here are a couple stories that are being overshadowed by the coronavirus. First, in East Africa, swarms of desert locusts are the worst they've been in 70 years and are severely threatening food supplies. Yeah. The UN has.
Damn it!
I know, right?
It's literally the apocalypse. There's like, it's like that.
Book of Revelations.
Did you
don't
say
like
swarms
that
of locusts?
Yeah.
in conjunction with a pandemic, because then you're thinking maybe I was wrong to not believe in God.
The next story is like 4 headless horsemen have been spotted riding from the skies into the globe.
Yeah,
Exactly.
goats are talking and tricking people to make horrible deals.
Yeah. So the UN has called the threat unprecedented. Kenya saw a swarm that occupied a space in the sky over 3 times that of the New York City sky. So imagine that for a second. I'm bitching about having to stay inside for a few weeks, and it literally looks like the end of days every day for those people. This swarm could increase by 500 times by June. So they're laughing about the coronavirus over there.
How do you call this unprecedented when it's in the Bible? Like the first book has this in it. Like, you can't say this is unprecedented.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, haven't seen it.
Could say that. That would be accurate.
Pat, people say unprecedented on game shows and sporting events every week.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we need to bring back what precedent means.
Mark has an unprecedentedly tall stack of toilet paper behind him.
That's
That's
right.
how
would be
easy
correct.
it is to throw around unprecedented.
But that was correct, Will.
Well,
It's a lot of
it's
toilet paper.
tall, but I don't know if it's unprecedentedly tall. But
I got a second cat here. Come here. All right, keep going.
All right. Also, the Earth saw its second warmest February ever last month, with some countries like Norway experiencing average temps nearly 25 degrees Celsius above normal averages. So that's a lot.
That's not bad. Second highest.
Right. All right.
There's one worse.
Parts of Europe and Asia also recorded record winter temps in December, January, and February. And last year was the second warmest ever since we started keeping record back in 1880. So, yeah, like you guys said, fuck me, huh? Locust, pandemic, global warming. Waiting for my dick to fall off any day.
that's true. But the good news about the global warming, coronavirus doesn't survive like at 90 degrees. So if we can just heat it up enough, no more coronavirus.
It's like bed bugs.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just
Do bed bugs
smoke
hate?
'em out.
Do bed bugs hate heat?
Yeah, it's the only way to get rid of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
you
make
gotta-
the house super hot. They
Yeah,
just all
you-
leave.
You heat up it's like 140 degrees or something, and it kills them.
How do you know, Wes?
I used to shoot videos for a bed bug company or something. A marketing company.
Sure.
I did.
Sure.
All right, let's get into something we don't normally talk about: sports. We're going to talk a little NFL free agency. Coronavirus is confusing times. We're usually, this is a no-go for us, but we need to fill up some more time. So let's talk about sports. It's one of the only things going on that's not coronavirus. So it's all one of the things we can talk about. Here's the moves that have happened so far, guys. DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver, formerly for the Houston Texans. He moved to the Cardinals for a second-round pick, and everybody's making fun of Bill O'Brien, the Texans coach, for being a moron for dealing for nothing.
For getting publicly pantsed.
Yeah. So that was the first big move. Next up, Nick Foles. He went to the Bears because Trubisky is horrible. So
Yeah.
Big Dick Nick.
That's
Big
right.
Dick Nick.
I saw
it's-
9-inch Nick jerseys today.
Yeah, it's yeah. Shout out Barstool Chicago. Go buy those 9-inch Nick shirts. If you're a Bears fan, it's weird though to be excited about Foles being your starting QB.
He's great. He's awesome. He
It
is.
is.
I mean, come on. Like, are you like? You like he's a journeyman, and I get he's an NFL or he's a Super Bowl
Super Bowl
MVP.
MVP.
Are you trying to ask whether he's a lead or not?
Super Bowl MVP for the Eagles, Will, and he had 2 incredible playoff runs. I mean, he's not great in the regular season, but he can win big games.
Yeah, Pat. The answer to is he a lead or not is no. I'm not asking that. I'm just saying it's like weird for Bears fans to be that excited about.
The Bears
I don't know.
The Bears have a good team though. If they can get to the playoffs,
True, good defense.
Nick Foles can win it for you.
Foles is very on par with Bears quarterbacks, which are generally not that exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a perfect fit. System fit for them. All right, Phil Rivers. he's going to the Colts after an entire career with the Chargers. So
just hang it up, right, Phil Rivers? Anyone else feeling that way? Send him home.
Yep, I do feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts. I would not say the Colts are going to be a ton better with that. But the biggest move, guys, that we need to talk about: Tom Brady to the Buccaneers for $30 million a year. Not sure how many years yet because the contract hasn't been signed because of coronavirus. But how you guys think about that?
This is a weather move. Clearly, just a weather move.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. Giselle said, "I'm cold."
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of. I mean, it's bizarre. If you were to ask me to bet on which team, Bucks would be in like the bottom 3 teams I would have guessed you would go to.
Yeah.
Cowboys #1 probably.
But they do but the Bucks do have they got a good offense. I mean,
Cool stadium. Mike Evans is going to be his number one receiver.
Chris Godwin, he was like a superstar
also
last
amazing.
year. Their tight end's good. Like Jameis threw for the most picks, but he also threw for like 17,000 yards like the last 2 years. Like he's going to a nice offense. Sure, the defense sucks, but he's going to a nice offense. Shout out Steve Che. Nice weather. You know, like I don't know. My wife's family's from there. I might go catch a game. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, look,
I'm glad. I'm glad for Brady because he's finally cashing in on his last contract. It's a smart move. He spent his entire life in Sparta, basically, where you take pay cuts and deal with whatever the fuck the Spartan coach tells you to do because you're guaranteed to win, like you would have been back in the Spartan army back in Greece, except it sucks compared to living in Athens where everybody gets drunk and has sex all the time. So now, you know, he stayed there with the Spartans. He became the best ever. Now he gets to go to the beach every week, get a tan while he milks his body for a little bit of money.
He might be able to like pull his dick out and do like dick pranks at practice, which wouldn't fly in New England. You know, like nuts on the head, stuff like
He's
that.
He's going to do whatever he wants in Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
your dick's not looking good in those temperatures. It's dangerous.
Yeah,
up
in
there.
Tampa, it's looking nice.
Also, who's the coach there? Arians? That's a laid back environment.
Well, also, Will, I wanted to ask you between Athens and Sparta, which one fucked little boys?
Sparta.
All of them.
Both.
Romans,
both. Mark's
What do you
right.
mean?
Sorry.
This is what I'm talking about
both,
when you say
both.
When you set precedents from hundreds and thousands of years ago, we don't have to do everything those fucking guys did. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's
what I'm trying to say with the Wuhan virus, the Chinese virus. You don't have to follow all the things they used to talk about in public in the bathhouses. You know, like whatever.
Yeah. So good for Brady leaving Sparta, going to Athens. It's his choice if he wants to partake in that type of activity, Pat. So.
No, I'm not saying. Hey, that's not what I was saying. All right, guys. Real quick.
I mean, I don't.
This
Don't
amount
you
of
put
boys
those
is
words in my mouth.
unprecedented.
Yeah, this is an unprecedented move. Tom Brady going.
There's an unprecedented amount of boys here.
Look at all these. This is unprecedented.
In Tampa Bay. All right, guys. Can't gamble on sports right now. That's terrible. Or is it? Because we got great news for you. Our presenting sponsor, Predict It. It's the website where you can gamble on news and politics. So there is hot action running every day, and it's a great way to make money. And dare I say, it's a little easier than sports gambling to make cash. You can kind of use some numbers, some predictions to make more accurate bets, right? So I'm liking right now the number of Democrats that are running for president on April 1st. You can bet no on one candidate for 81 cents, or you can bet no on 3 candidates running on April 1st for 76 cents. So you can either make, 15 cents or so a share, or 20 cents, 25 or 20 cents or so. What do you guys like?
Should have listened to me way back when. That one candidate.
You're thinking one candidate by April 1st, and that's what you're sticking with.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was contradicting reports that came out today on whether Bernie was like actually thinking about addressing his campaign. I've heard rumors that was false, but I don't think that Tulsi and Bernie will be in by April 1st. And if you listen to Stakes or Wes, 3 weeks ago, you would have made 7 times your money by now.
Yep, right.
So,
and it's a perfect time to get in on Predict It because you can literally spend all day on the site and just turn and burn cash.
The VP market is fun right now too.
it's a woman. Yeah, you can use information like it's a woman. Biden said it would be a woman, so like you can start doing some research there.
Yeah, shout out Heart of Hive member Andrew Churchill. He thinks the governor of Michigan could be a dark horse. That's a fun one to play because there's lots of female choices in there, and they're all paying out at high odds. So
I still like the March 31st Tommy Tuberville versus Jeff Sessions. Tuberville's 80 cents. cents.
Tuberville. Yeah.
Tuberville's at 80 cents though, and Sessions is at 18, and he's so like shady and
A lot of name recognition.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I think it's closer to 50-50. So you could get Sessions for 18 cents there. I don't know. I think Tuberville's going to pull it out, but it's going to be close.
Tuberville's got the Trump endorsement though, so yeah.
That's
yeah,
It's
but
hard to lose.
The Trump endorsement in Alabama right now is not what it was 2 weeks ago.
That's true. That's true. Not necessarily quite the same.
Anyway, guys, if you want to make some cash with us, go to predictit.org. This is a unique URL. It's predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20. It's going to look just like the regular Predict It homepage, but you got to go to that URL. If you go to that URL and you sign up for Predict It and deposit $20, we will match your $20 deposit for your first deposit. Predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw the viral Matthew McConaughey video I was talking about earlier. It's called Don't Let the Coronavirus Make You Paranoid. I think that's the YouTube title or the title online. Where he talks about, it's awesome. You should check it out. Where he talks about us coming together to make lemonade out of this global pandemic. Lemon, you guys see it yet? Am I the only one?
not yet.
Hey guys, you want to come together over this pandemic?
Yes.
I didn't watch it. No,
he drops all of his catchphrases except for all right. He ends it with keep on living. It's pretty
like
good.
he keeps getting older, but this virus keeps staying the same age.
Basically.
When is something bad going to happen to that guy?
Never.
No.
The coronavirus doesn't even dare go anywhere near him. It wouldn't take an effect on his body anyways. But he also talks about like using values like fairness, kindness, and respect amongst others to come together during these tough times, like we were talking about earlier. It's not a partisan virus. It's not the virus has no race. It has no gender. So everyone maybe chill the fuck out and let's beat this thing, right? And keep on living. So I liked that message, and I'm certain that the guy who goes by three names, Sage Aaron Cummins, watched the video and was moved by that message, because what happened with him is he got blackout drunk in his home state of New Mexico and broke into an apartment and stole some televisions. But when he woke up the next morning with multiple new TVs in his bedroom, he said, Sage Aaron Cummins, what have you done? You've been drinking again and having too much fun. And he felt guilty. It wasn't fair. He wanted to return the televisions out of the kindness of his heart. So when he was told 2 days later by a mutual friend that those are definitely, I know exactly who those TVs are that you stole, he returned them. Oh no, wait, he gave them to the friend to return. Oh no, wait, he approached a police officer and told him he stole the TVs. That's what he did.
Good Lord.
So
that's. Do you think the cops are annoyed by that? Like, I wouldn't want to fill out the paperwork.
Return them.
Like,
just return them. Leave them at the fucking doorstep. It's like two $200 TVs for. God,
you're gonna have to take me in, officer.
Yeah.
I did something bad. I'm gonna return them, but I need to be punished because I was a bad boy.
yeah.
He might have been like deathly scared. He might have like robbed a drug dealer. But according to Gallup police report, Cummins said he only remembered knocking on the door. And when it was apparent that no one was home, he went inside the house and just doesn't remember anything after he entered the door. Cummins was arrested and charged with receiving stolen property. He was released on $1,500 bond because I don't even think it was grand theft. It's like two shitty TVs. Interesting moves all around by Sage Aaron Cummins. I don't trust this guy. I don't know about you guys, but
Good call. Good call. Don't trust him.
His initials spell out sack, so no.
There you go.
I'm not gonna trust that guy.
Never trust a sack.
Never trust a sack. All right, guys. Good news is here for the Friday. This Friday, Hard Factor and PFT commenter are going to be curing your quarantine blues with a lockdown turn up live power hour party / check-in with a number.
Are we
of
doing a power hour?
I don't think we're gonna do a power hour.
I'm gonna do one. Oh fuck you guys. I'm gonna do
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a power hour. Yeah, whatever you want to do. It's going to be creative space, I think.
It's lockdown turn up. How I turn up is a power hour. I'm gonna do a power hour. You guys can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
there you go.
Everybody.
Mark's gonna do
Everybody's
it.
turning up.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun. So we're going to check in with a number of Barstool celebrities. Just going to go ahead and lock them down here by mentioning their names. Large, Kate, Marty Mush, Rhea, and Hank, and hopefully more. We'll be
Yes.
Yeah, we'll
That's
be checking
so
in.
far. That's
Yeah,
so far today. That's so far today. Also, Large Skyped me and waved, so I think he's setting in the wheels in motions. He's
Oh,
definitely
good. He's not going to miss
Nice.
it. He's
Yeah.
ready to go.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice. So, hopefully we'll lock in some more people. So clear your Friday schedules. Just kidding. And join us We will have more information soon, so follow us on Twitter to get the time and link to that live stream. I believe we're going YouTube this time for our live stream. And also, as Will mentioned, we launched a new shirt. I'll be honest, the lockdown turn up brand concept came to me. I was sitting at home getting phone calls and emails from clients canceling gigs, and I thought to myself, I'm going to have to start stealing shit soon unless I can think of a way to make money. So I contacted PFT, I told him my idea. He said he liked it, and T-shirt was born. But eventually, as the crisis continued, we realized that we had to do something. So we have now partnered with Meals on Wheels, and all the net proceeds of the shirt will go to feeding the elderly and disabled, like we said at the beginning of the show.
100%.
That's
100%.
right.
And we made that decision like 2 hours after the shirt went live, so only like 4 shirts have been sold. So I'm sure.
No. It's all retroactive. Don't worry.
All of it's going to charity.
All of it's yeah.
Wes gets the money from the first 4 shirts. The rest goes to charity.
Wes gets
that was
$10.
the deal he cut. Yeah.
Like, what can we do? Can we do 50% charity, guys?
No. 100%.
So buy the shirt, lockdown, turn up, and help out at the same time. And like I said before, it's just as good as volunteering. You feel the exact same pride and do-goodness, I promise. So I'm not sure we had to do this again because Will did such a good job in the beginning. But
you don't have to. Just
because Wes, you're hyping up the stream on Friday. I was talking more just about the shirt. It's still for the good. The stream is taking the cause to the next level.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and you can overnight your shirt to wear it on the stream if you really want to go.
Can you?
hard.
I ordered shirts today and I didn't see that option.
Oh, really? Maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, but I bet you some people in New York are going to wear it. So that's really going to chap my ass because we won't even have it by then.
No, we won't have it. Well, I don't know if they'll have it either. They might not be able to get it handed off due to Corona, but we'll see.
Nice.
We will see. All right, boys, let's move on. It's time. It's time again for voicemails and reviews. And I've got quite a few. Got 2 voicemails and 4 reviews here for us.
Nice.
So let's start off with the first voicemail.
Guys, love the fucking show. Been listening to it pretty much since day one. Love the electricity in the morning with the good morning and the song. But please, can you let me hit the drum solo before coming in with that good morning? Every time I go to slam my hands on the damn steering wheel and y'all start hitting me with the good morning, I can't get a drum solo on. Thank you, guys. I didn't know if anybody else had that same sentiment as me, but
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Pat doesn't. So this is 100% Pat's fault. He always cuts songs early.
Yep.
This is 100% Pat's fault.
This was I actually used to cut the show specifically with the drum solo included because I love it as well.
Well, it's a great song. Let it breathe a second, Pat.
But for time's sake, Pat started doing the shorter version, and then we all started following suit with that for the shorter. But Pat, the listeners have overruled you.
Yeah.
We're going back to the drum
Pat, I don't
solo.
know how many
is true,
reviews
guys.
we need.
Look,
yeah.
I'm
Also, the outro songs you cut to like 6 seconds sometimes when we go along. People like the songs, Pat.
Guys, I'm the weak link when it comes to taste and tech on this pod. You know, I don't know what I'm doing in terms of producing shows or anything, or I don't know anything. So you guys are right.
No, all the reviews.
Well, this is the Harlow Hive,
All the
they're saying.
reviewers are wrong, Pat. You're right.
Well, hey, guess what? Did you notice, listener that called in, that somehow we magically thought and knew you were going to ask about this? So did you notice how the fucking drum solo was in there this morning on today's show? Did you notice that?
On What the Fuck Wednesday. Oh.
No, right. I'm talking about this episode that you're listening to right now.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah,
Correct post taste. Yes. All right.
Fuck you guys.
Next voicemail.
Hey guys, love the lockdown turnout movement, and I got a recommendation for your Friday live stream circle jerk. Love to see if that fuck eats, so I would like to recommend the lockdown turn up cook-off. Although filming could be interesting, but that's the problem. Also, feedback on the long episode. Keep it going. As long as the boys are buzzing and an episode isn't just a long ass predicted ad read, I'll take all the content I can get. That's what I got. Make sure you smoke plenty of weed and jerk off plenty to fend off the coronavirus, and have a great fucking day.
Naturally.
Yeah, guys, so that voicemail was brought to you by predictit.org. It's the stock.
He brought up some good points. It was hard to hear. He wants us to do a cook-off at some point.
Yeah. He wants.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got something for this. All right. So thank you for the voicemail, and I agree. We are very fat on the whole, and it would be funny to watch us eat. So what I'm going to do for the live stream on Friday is I'm not going to cook anything because that would be extremely hard for me to film on a live stream for you. But what I'm going to do is grab food from local businesses who need business during this time, and I will be eating as much of it and drinking also local varieties of things as much as I can during the live stream, showing them off. So I'm gonna eat my fat ass is gonna eat a lot on the live stream.
It would be fun to do competitions though. I like the cook off. I'm not a very good cook. But yeah, I mean also
It'd be fun to
Who was
watch Mark
supposed to
cook.
battle in our Thanksgiving cook-off?
supposed to
It
be
was
me
Mark and
versus
Mark
you.
challenged me.
Me versus
who? Yeah,
Will.
you two.
Yeah, Mark challenged me to a cook-off. I'm confident I will take it up. I will.
For you
can
listeners out there, Wes and I are hobby chefs. We love to cook.
Yeah,
I
you
can
saw
make
the
good
omelet.
cheese.
You saw the omelet flip today.
Yeah,
That was a nice flip, dude. I gotta say.
Mark and Will a little bit less, definitely way less. So Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't fucking care.
one day, neither do I. Neither do I. And
I don't
the
give
best
a flying
part,
fuck about
yeah,
cooking.
neither do I, Mark. And the best part about a competition is all of us would have a puncher's chance. So
Right.
I want to have it all four of us. So
Yeah,
we'll need to get a
if
crew
I
for this.
lose, it's great. If I beat you,
Exactly.
You're
I eat your
self-proclaimed hobby chef ass. You're a hobby chef? All right, next voicemail.
It's
Yeah,
a hobby of mine to cook, dickhead.
Yeah, yeah.
What are
Okay.
yours?
Okay, boys. Okay, we're done. That was an excellent voicemail. Thank you. Obviously, watch the stream Friday. We'll get more cooking content after that, all for comedy. All right, let's move on to 5-star reviews. And we've got to eat some of our medicine here because we got a couple negative 5-star reviews that I'm going to read at the end. But first, we're going to kick it off with 2 positive ones. I'm not going to read this whole first one because it's huge, but it's from Snow Junkie 101. And he says, top-notch news show for those that don't take life too seriously. And he says, I've always loved the show and thought they do a great job at finding relevant news stories along with stories that are hidden gems. Bringing on Donald Trump Jr. as a guest really upped the quality of this program. More of these top guests once a week would be fantastic. It's awesome the show is getting big enough to have a big A guest. Fantastic work, guys. I'd give this a 6-star if I could. Include some military news from time to time. Thanks for cheering me up before my sorties. I guess that's a military thing. So
That's got to be, yeah.
yeah. So thank you for your service, and we will try to include more military news. But
And maybe
that's a good one.
maybe like Chaps and Kate to talk about military stuff as well
Yeah,
because
check-
we support the military, but we're
Yes, actually-
infants on knowledge on that.
Yes, actually, Snow Junkie 101. Kate was in Austin, but she lost her bag, so she could not attend last time we were going to have her on. So we'll get her on next time. All right, next 5-star review is from
And cons. I missed cons there. Chaps, Kates, and cons.
This next one is from AM Generation. He says the world is a scary place. 5 stars. Look at these. Look, these guys make the news fun again. If you ever watch CNN or Fox, you realize we are all going to hell in a handbasket. At least when you ride with our fellow portly brothers of Hard Factor, you'll be laughing all the way. Hashtag coronavirus. Hashtag Space Mountain. Hashtag Soft Corner. So, thank you, AM Generation. This next guy.
He really hit some of my favorite topics there. Coronavirus, Space Mountain, Soft Corner. Those are some winners.
Long-time listener, first-time caller for sure.
I like this segment where you read nice things people said about us.
Well,
yeah, this segment's awesome.
No.
I'm feeling real good right now about
yeah,
myself.
wait a minute. Stop
and
it.
the work
Just
that-
stop it now. Yeah.
I've
I've
already read the next 2, and they suck.
Not stopping, guys. So this is part of the deal. We've always said if you listen and you leave us a 5-star review, we'll read it. So this guy says Jimbo 1005. He says funny. He said I did enjoy the podcast a lot, but lately seems like Bernie Bros with the fear-mongering coronavirus stories.
Oh, come on.
So
it's
sorry,
a
Jimbo.
complex criticism.
I'm glad that you did enjoy us at one time, and I hope you're still listening because the coronavirus, it's just serious. We're not trying to be overly like sending people into a panic, but I think that we wanted people to take it seriously. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah,
Bernie broke part.
And also, we're not all Bernie bros. So I mean, we've talked. Bernie's just different than the other candidates. We've talked about his policies, but we're not all Bernie bros certainly. And the fear mongering at this point, I don't think anyone can. Sorry that I was ahead of the curve by 2 months.
Right. The Bernie bro part, and I wanted to clear this up too on the Bernie bro part. I was betting heavily on Bernie on predicted, so I was upset about the DNC thing, how that went. But I'm not necessarily like a huge supporter. Just
no.
I was betting, and it looked like he was going to win until all that happened.
Yeah.
Now,
wanted some money.
This is the hardest one to take right here. This one's called 5 stars for Barstool. It's a 5-star review from Dusty Tex, who says, cringeworthy. How hard they try to say the right thing, and it takes away from the entertainment and comedy. If you're a good guy, you shouldn't have to try so hard to sound like one. Clearly not bad people. Wait. But all I hear when listening is the posturing to say the perceived right thing.
Well, this guy cheats on his girlfriend all the time.
Yeah.
This guy is clearly cheating. I can tell by the language here. If you're a good guy, you shouldn't have to try so hard. You're not a good guy, and you cheat on everyone in your life. So fuck you.
Dusty Tex, let me let you in. Let me let you in behind the curtain here. You're right that we are all good guys. That is true.
Yeah,
but I swear to God, if you read our group chat, if you read our group text, we would all be fired from our jobs.
Hey, Dusty Tex, how come we were on a pitch count for our first 200 episodes? Because our producer, PFT, thought we'd get instantly fired for how not fucking politically correct we are.
If you want to look, Dusty Tex, you don't. The point is, you don't want us totally unfiltered.
No.
We wouldn't be around very long.
Do, but
I do. I want us totally unfiltered.
Me too. We'd be fired pretty soon.
The show wouldn't last more than a month if you got it all the way unfiltered.
I don't want anybody to see me completely unfiltered.
We'd have to move to a completely other network.
We use this opportunity to introduce our paywall, Hard Factor paywall subscription service. So
right.
We're launching a paywall, and behind the paywall, you can hear us totally raw and unfiltered.
We even had a name for it. We were going to call it like the dark side. Like,
the dark room.
The dark room.
The dark room.
Dusty
a lot of
Tex,
public apologies.
Dusty Tex, you don't want it, man. You don't want it.
But Dusty Tex, we also agree, cancel culture sucks.
Yeah, cancel culture
fucking
sucks. A big one.
When we open up the dark room, Dusty Tex, you will get the first invitation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you and whatever girlfriend you're cheating on, you piece of shit.
Last one of the day, of the morning. Earlier this year, everyone in the content biz was talking TikTok. TikTok this, TikTok that. And you have to get on TikTok. You can build a huge following while we're in the early days of the platform. Blah, 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 blah.
Infancy.
We were saying
that. Right. So being hairy, overweight men approaching middle age, we thought we should give it a try, especially if it's so easy, as everyone says.
I am so intimidated by TikTok. I gotta admit something before you go on, Pat. I created a TikTok account, and I scrolled the feed of TikTok one time, and I just shriveled up. I've never opened the app again.
But Will,
I'm so scared.
Will,
scared of TikTok.
Your workout videos are like TikTok gold. That's what that's all about.
I know, but the thing is like TikTok scares the fuck out of me. So like I can't even look at the app. I should put them in TikTok, but
don't get carried away again, guys. We don't want to get our hearts broken because that's what we thought was going to fucking happen. We thought Will's shit was gold. We thought our videos were gold. We thought we were going to crush. So we launched our fucking TikTok, released some videos, and much to our surprise, not much happened. And after a couple weeks, we had something like 90 followers, and I kept saying to the guys, you guys remember this? Something isn't right here. We're spinning out gold content. I think TikTok is broken. Do you guys remember when I said that?
Yes.
Well, yeah. It turns out that it wasn't our killer and original content that was impeding our rise. It was discrimination.
Oh.
Yeah, 100%. That's right. The new documents published by The Intercept outline how TikTok moderators were told to suppress videos from users who appeared too ugly, poor, or disabled as part of the company's efforts to curate an aspirational air in the videos it promotes. Now, I wasn't going to give you listeners the satisfaction of knowing which alarm our videos triggered.
Wait, it wasn't us just shoving cucumbers into a sex machine that did it?
Yeah, that doesn't give off an aspirational air.
Wes, you got to be good looking if you're going to do that.
Okay, that video was an outlier.
Yeah. You know, also the whole thing about that whole concept, we want our platform of publicly submitted videos to give off an aspirational air. That's like a really fucked up concept if you break it down. Like,
I agree, Will. And look, I wasn't gonna tell the listeners. I wasn't gonna give them the satisfaction of letting them know, which triggers we hit in terms of why we weren't getting promoted on
all of them.
Yeah.
TikTok. But guys, as I got deeper into the documents and I saw the specific list of things that TikTok employees were told to suppress, it was like reading Hard Factor's collective dating profile. It's like they wrote these rules while watching our videos. So here we go. Employees were told to suppress videos that featured TikTokers with, quote, abnormal body shapes.
Come on.
Right, and that's not limited to dwarf or acromegalia. Users who are, quote, chubby, obese, or too thin. Users who have, quote, ugly facial looks.
I'm deleting my TikTok app right now.
Deformities. And they honestly said videos should be, quote, removed if their shooting environment is shabby and dilapidated. It's like they're talking specifically about Wes's garage.
Yeah.
We're batting 1,000 here, and this makes a lot more sense.
And me personally.
Yes, well, the face, the ugly face, yeah.
No, I wasn't
but look,
referring
guys,
to that.
Your environment, which is just you. Again, it just goes right back to you.
Mm-hmm. This is an injustice, guys, and I'm not fucking happy. And it makes a lot of sense because the shit we're putting out on TikTok is it's transcendent. Anyway,
you know what? Here's the deal. I know these weed workout videos are good. I will upload all of them to TikTok, and we will use that as our test.
Yeah,
we'll
I'm just gonna start doing shirtless videos to TikTok just to piss them off.
There we go.
No, well, Mark, that's exactly what they don't want.
Are they going to retract the rules? Pat, are they changing these rules?
I'm going to make these workers go to work. You know what I mean?
Guys, yes.
I'm going to bombard them.
They are changing the rules, maybe, allegedly. TikTok responded by saying most of the guidelines that The Intercept presented are either no longer in use or in some cases appear to have never been in place. Yeah, okay. And I hope that they're no longer in use, the ones that were there, because this is fucking bullshit, and we shall see in the coming weeks
we're going to test that system.
Yeah, if our TikTok gets the attention it deserves. If you want to support our abnormal, chubby bodies, ugly facial looks, or shabby and dilapidated shooting environments, you can follow us at TikTok, username at Hard Factor News. You'll thank us later. That's going to do it for Hard Factor. Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, long episode because you got more time, we got more time. Live stream going to be Friday night with PFT Commenter. We're going to be checking in with all our friends at Barstool, see how they're riding out the quarantine. Give us a follow, 5-star review, and have a great fucking day.
It's a really depressing last 15 minutes personally for us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah!